WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy. Busy Friday night schedule of quarantines and staying by yourselves and social distancing to hang out with me and Pooky here and at WTF Nation Radio. Thank you. What a beautiful day. How's it going, Pooky? Oh, I can't hear Pooky. What happened to Pooky?
Oh.
There he is.
I was going to say, you broke Pooky already.
You broke me. No, it's the same old, just an insane week, man. Just following and doing things.
It is kind of a crazy week. Wasn't really paying attention until I think Wednesday. What's today? Today is Friday. So Wednesday I saw something that just says, okay, Biden's been in office for a week now, and he's written 34 or 36 executive orders, and then they posted a quote from Biden that says, if you need to govern by executive orders, that makes you a dictator. And then there was a splash of the executive orders within the first week of President Clinton, Bush, President Trump, and then Biden. And Biden's winning. Clinton and Bush were 0. I think Obama had a couple. Trump had 4, and then Biden leading the pack with 34 executive orders. And he's up to. I think he's up to like 40. Yeah.
Yeah,
what 40. Is this, a baseball game or something?
I have no idea.
It's the way you announced it. It sounded like that.
Oh, yeah. And bringing up the rear.
Coming up on base next.
So before we get started, we do have a guest tonight in the second hour, and I'm really excited about this. I always like veteran service organizations or organizations that service our frontline folks, our first responders, police and fire, veterans, active military, so on and so forth. So tonight we've got Back the Heroes Rumble, co-founder and President Carl Whalen is going to be on, and he's going to bring on a special guest, Caela Collettee. Army veteran Carl Whalen is the co-founder and president of Back the Heroes Rumble. He'll be on to talk about what they do for our veterans, service members, and first responders. Back the Heroes Rumble is a recognized 501c3 nonprofit corporation in support of law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, and military servicemen and women in the veteran community. Their service covers the tri-state area of Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Super large area with a very dense veteran population, and I'm really happy that they're going to take out the time from their day and join us. Now let me talk about Caela Collettee. Caela Collettee is the widow of Sergeant Joseph P. Collettee. Age 29, was assigned to the 242nd Ordnance Battalion, 71st EOD Disposal Group out of Fort Carson, Colorado. Sergeant Collettee died on March 22nd during a combat mission in Afghanistan's Kunduz province from injuries resulting from enemy fire. He was survived by his wife, Caela. Their 2 children, Blair and Cody, and 2 stepchildren, Lena and Aria. Caela will be joining Carl tonight, and she will speak on how Back the Heroes Rumble helped her through that turmoil. So very excited for those folks to be on tonight. All right, can we go home now? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm out of breath, man. I need to slow down. I get really excited before a show, and I'm kind of,
too much caffeine, man.
Yeah. I suppose so. It's been Gatorade most of the week. I've been working long hours.
You get on my level and do the twisted tea.
You're on the twisted tea
and just mellow out, man.
Well, that's not a combat twisted tea. That's just a regular.
This is the non-assault variant.
Non-assault.
So I don't agree with the high capacity things, man. So I go with just your standard magazine.
At least it's not Four Loko. We need to have somebody knock somebody out with a Four Loko, and then we can have more memes for a while.
It's funny is like I was buying a Four Loko the other day. I was standing in the gas station, And I was holding it in my hand like I was about to rack someone with it. And everyone just like had their distance away from me because I was looking like I don't know if they were thinking I was gonna rack. Just like,
are you that guy?
Oh well, you say the wrong thing about someone or say the wrong thing, you know, I might catch a charge. You know, I mean.
So we're hearing a little bit of giggling in the background. I believe that is the giggle that belongs to Mom. How you doing, Mom?
Yes. I've been great. I'm excited about being on tonight with you guys.
We don't hear you very often.
No, it's because, I've, popped another trophy out.
COVID Carl, right?
Yeah, COVID Carl.
COVID Carl was born a model. Did you know that?
I am starting to see that. Like, he just loves to smile. He is always a happy baby unless he's super hungry, has a really shitty diaper.
Right.
Or if you just, take his finger away from, the outlet on the wall. But, and then I'm the asshole when I, keep him from doing that. But he's always happy.
Babies are pretty magical creatures. As long as their diaper's dry, their belly is full, and they're not tired, they're pretty easy. But the thing is, getting to any of those three variables is you never really know. Well, one you definitely know.
Oh yeah,
but the other two, the other two are just like up in the air.
Pretty much, you just kind of just guess.
I remember when either of my two girls, when they were babies, would start crying. I go through that. I'm like, okay, let me check their diaper. When's the last time they ate? And then just kind of go through that little checklist of how do I stop this. Sometime and then they start teething, and then it's just all bets are off.
He'll be 8 months old on the 31st.
Already?
Yeah, he's crawling.
I was going to say he's
pulling himself up. He's going to be walking soon.
Then we're going to get the black eye videos of COVID Carl busting his face on the end of the edge table, the corner of the coffee tables.
I took away the coffee table.
No.
She done baby proofed the house.
Kind of. It's kind of getting baby proofed.
So what's your take on this stock market thing that happened? No, I'm talking to Pooky.
I was going to say I'm clueless as fuck.
I think it's great because after reading, there was like a 1-paragraph synopsis about what happened. It says, okay, let me break it down. Some neckbeards from Reddit pumped up. They started buying up GameStop stock, forcing it to appear as it's a bullish stock. So people probably not knowing. They just kind of they started buying all this stock, and then I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is
not even close to how it started.
All right,
the whole thing started with this Reddit group called Wall Street Bets, and these people are known as just insane gamblers on the market. And one guy back in like 2019, his name was like Deep fucking value or something his username was, okay. And he said screw it. Well, it was like $3 a share. He threw $50,000 into it because he felt that the stock was undervalued. Well, he kept posting updates and his losses and his gains or whatnot, and someone came to the forefront and said, hey, these guys are like floating a lot of short sales right now. And then they looked into it, and it was like something along the lines of like I think 110% of the entire share value, which was like more. So they're like, oh, we can short squeeze these guys, which if you don't understand what shorts and stuff like that are, it's really hard to explain to people.
It's basically you promise to do things, right?
It's pretty much I promise I borrow this from you and then I sell it low or sell it at price and hope to buy it back low and give you the shitty shit. Huh? Yeah. It's pretty much the best way to explain it.
Okay.
But they realized this and they were like, hey, if we all at once just buy in this stock and block and hold, they're stuck with the insane amount. So like I think it was like $70 billion these hedge funds.
So the hedge funds right now, if I understand it correctly, are actually forced to hold on to this essentially worthless stock.
Well, eventually they have to sell it. There's like a period that you agree to pay this guy back after like 60 or 30 days.
Okay.
So they're trying to hold it high. So they're forced to buy in super high, and then what they're going to do is they're just going to sell out and then make just it's pretty much the highway robbery at that point. It
is.
So I mean, everyone's claiming it's stock manipulation. And
have they broken any laws?
None that I know of.
I don't think that they have. I think the only laws that were broken is like Roadrunner and those other brokerage firms that were keeping people from selling. I think
Robin Hood. Okay,
Robin Hood. What did I say?
Yeah,
Roadrunner.
So I had stock options on Nokia set for Thursday. I bought aftermarket and I threw money down on some stocks. I knew it was one of those meme stocks, but I kind of had promise with it. You know, I was like, okay, cool. I might make a couple $100 bills here. You know, no big for like, I'm not like big hedge fund making billions, but they blocked my shares. I woke up, I got 2 alerts right at 9:30 when the stock market opened up. Bing, bing. I was like, what's this? And they had canceled my orders because they had blocked out everything pretty much. And it was just nuts. It was just insane. So the only people that I can think that was legally wrong at this point are some of these like day trading apps.
Yeah.
That pretty much limited. But
I guess
it got crazy.
That was kind of my opinion. I'm like, you know, the market is still open and these shares are still being traded. But if you have those apps, you can't. And
they lifted it the day after, which
right.
There's this huge conspiracy theory right now.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds. There's White House connections and all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Something along the lines, yeah. Someone said, "Hey, shut these guys down from buying it, so we can at least get our short sales in, where we're not going to go completely tanked up." Because I think by the time it was done, it was like $70 billion in damage had been done. But I mean. You bet and gamble on the stock market, hoping it's short sales. Shorties are extremely risky. No normal human being can afford it.
I avoid anything that's in the option chain.
But I got options and stuff like that floating around. But never would I ever try to do short sales because that's just batshit crazy.
Well, the thing, and you have to pay attention to it. You have to take so much dollars, and you have to take so much time out of your day. I mean, if you got a day job, you can't just be paying attention to the stock market and when to sell and when to buy.
I think this has to do with a lot of like the pandemic lockdowns too. Is you got a bunch of people who are like locked down, so they got nothing else to do, so they decided, hey, I'll just day trade because I've got plethora of money floating around from these stimulus bills, and I don't know what to do with it. And I mean, like I was talking about Deep fucking Value, whatever his name was, a user on the Reddit board.
Yeah.
He bought in at $3 a share. He threw $50,000 down. I mean, you do the math on this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the stock closed today at almost 400.
Yes, I was looking at it this morning before the market. It was at 196 in pre-market trading, and then it shot back up to an almost mid 400s, almost 500, and then it settled back down again. But it's still reasonably high. In the last year, if you take a 1 year picture of GME, which is GameStop, it's up like 7,900 and some change percent increase. It's crazy, man.
Well, that's not the only thing though. Like everyone's focused on GameStop right
but
now,
it was Nokia and AMC and something else.
There's one
BlackBerry.
I know who Koz is, right? The headset company. They
yes,
do a lot of military contracts.
KOSS, yeah.
Yeah. Theirs went up almost 3,700%.
Woohoo!
Because there was so much short floatage going around. So it's just like everyone focused on GameStop and all this stuff. But I mean, there's like, I'm looking at the list right now. You had like AMCX wasn't even involved with it. It's just because I guess the stock symbol was so close.
Mm-hmm.
Because AMC, the movie company, had like short floatage going on, insane. Bed Bath Beyond, BB liquidating, BlackBerry, Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Build-A-Bear, really? I didn't know they were on NASDAQ or on the stock market.
Fossil Group, the
watches, yeah.
Let's another one. Nokia, that's the one that I was trying to buy into. And I got my shares shut down. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy some Nokia stock. I was thinking two-phase thing because they got a lot of 5G technology coming out. And
Nokia
that was
really?
my brain pattern on it. I don't just... willy-nilly throw my money around like an idiot. But
the old Nokia phones, you can actually use those as chalk blocks.
Oh yeah,
They won't break.
Or you could throw it at someone and do severe damage. You know, the whole 9 yards. The most indestructible item ever created by mankind.
It
But
could be like the next Twisted Tea.
Get knocked out with a Nokia phone.
jeez, I'm gonna go start digging around the internet to see if anyone actually ever got knocked out. The whole thing's crazy. A lot of people are, and another big thing right now is the Dogecoin, which I'm a holder of, which is crazy because I do crypto like crazy. But
their value went skyrocketing because someone said someone whose opinion matters said that they doubted not the veracity, but they doubted something about Bitcoin.
Well, no, it wasn't that. Elon Musk just said, "I think Dogecoin's cool," and everyone started buying it. It was worthless. So I mean, like I bought it like when it first came out because I was big into the altcoins and the cryptocurrency. Yeah. So I've been a holder for a very long time. And when people started promoting, I was like, well, cool. Let's make me filthy rich. You know? You know, I mean, right now is a good time to invest into it, but I'm not an investor. Don't listen to anything I say because I'm a crazy hillbilly. So just a forewarning. I warned you.
Our favorite crazy hillbilly.
I follow the advice of whoever my advisor at Fidelity is. I talk to him every few months.
It's probably a smart bet if you're trying to save for.
The thing is, I don't have the stomach for it. My pain tolerance is probably pretty okay, but I don't like to lose, so that just makes it suck.
Like risk. Well, that's what happened with the Dogecoin last night because I was up probably like 3 o'clock in the morning trading this thing.
You traded on the foreign market?
No, I was doing it at Robinhood, and I use another. It's called Coinbase. It's not Coinbase. It's kind of like Coinbase, but it's not Coin. It's a crypto trading. I don't want to start throwing info out there for people to start blowing their money on. But
Pooky said that.
Pooky said this. The next thing I know, I got the people knocking on the door. But no, no, I was just sitting there trading. Robinhood was a quick one to do it on. A lot of people are using Robinhood to buy crypto now. I think, but no, I was just like sitting there trading. It hit 7 cents a share, and it just tanked pretty much. I won't say tanked. It's just
how do you tank from 7 cents a share?
Huh?
How do you tank from 7 cents a share?
Well, you gotta understand, like people were buying it at like 0.00000, like a fraction of a penny back in. I mean, when I bought in, it was just like, oh, cool. Just here's $100. Didn't think twice about it. It's just like $100 is $100. I mean, I could go blow that at a bar in one night. So it was like, whatever. But a lot of people were like that. But you can make some money doing it. Crypto. I mean, everyone thinks crypto is crazy, but then you get them Bitcoin billionaires floating around the world.
I definitely think that crypto is crazy unless you educate yourself and that's what you pay attention to. And if you're willing to lose everything that you put into it.
All it is an unregulated stock market. That's pretty much the only way I could describe it to someone who doesn't understand it. There's no trading times. It's 24/7. You could throw your money here. You could throw your money here. Like you get the right crypto exchanges. You could start taking one crypto and trading for another. And all it is a stock market at that point.
Crazy. Hey, you want to talk about pot?
Yes, smoke some.
Which is what another market that I guess the Sinaloa cartel is trying to get a hold of. They're losing money with the legal pot market, so they want to get in on some of this. That's considered to be the most powerful criminal organization in America, if not the world. But now the brutal Sinaloa cartel is preparing to go legit and make millions of dollars through front organizations in Mexico's new legal pot industry. Cartel.
There you go.
Yeah. Cartel operatives say that they hope to transit from the illegal market to the multi-million-dollar legal weed market as soon as Mexico passes reform to legalize marijuana for adult use. Proponents of the drug reforms had hoped legalizing the sale of narcotics would take the profits out of the hands of the killers and criminals, but members of the Sinaloa cartel are already working on infiltrating the legal market. Of course they are. I mean, put any other business in there. Of course, businesses are going to adapt in order to stay alive.
I guess apparently no one took notes of like the 1920s where they like did this thing called prohibition and it created this like massive cartel that made billions upon billions of dollars on. That's my 2 cents on it. But, I mean, I think Mexico legalized cocaine just recently too.
Did they really? I know they did a bunch. It's everything's kind of still in the works, but it's being talked about.
I just find it funny that Mexico can legalize marijuana before we can, and we're sitting here trying to impeach a president that's no longer a sitting president. So, I mean, this is fucking insanity, man.
What is important? I don't know. The result could be an even greater profits for the gangland bosses to spend on weapons, buying off politicians, and growing their criminal empire. For legitimate businesses preparing for legalization of marijuana, which is expected to pass later this year, this is how the alarming prospect of competing it is with the cartels. One of the first challenges as the Sinaloa cartel prepares to compete in the open market is the introduction of much more powerful marijuana. Mexican farmers working with the cartel in remote areas say that they are already dropping the old techniques and adopting a sophisticated process that includes genetically modified crops and fertilization systems to produce more potent weed. Some of the Sinaloa cartel are exploring ways to set up legal shops under frontmen, according to cartel members. Inevitably, some of the more powerful crop could end up on the black market or even smuggled into the United States. Quote, "We are now leaving the old Mexican marijuana aside. Our bosses right now gained new seeds from Germany for us to grow better quality weed and ordered us to start harvesting this new weed strain." According to the farmer, the plan for the Sinaloa cartel is to start, quote, "experimenting with advanced techniques to top-notch seeds and to be ready to deliver paperwork as soon as Mexico passes its new law using front operations." And then there's a whole bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo about the illegal stuff going on in Mexico to legalize just weed in general. And the cartel wants to jump in on it and make that dara.
I just find it funny that these industries have made billions of dollars on it being illegal, and now they want to legitimize it because they realize that it's actually safer and cheaper to do.
Oh, with marijuana?
Yeah, no, it's
coffee.
I mean, prohibition sucks. It doesn't work. Like the whole war on drugs, in my opinion, is a failure. You know, all it did was put a bunch of people in jail that didn't need to be in jail. But no, I just find it funny. Is like they've profited the most, and now they're lobbying to make it legal so they can do it without the government busting their doors in every like 3 minutes.
It is ironic.
Well, at least let's say, like in the United States, I know I don't smoke pot. I don't do any of that stuff. But from what I understand, I mean, in order to grow weed for recreational or medicinal use, I mean, every plant, every bud is accounted for.
Oh,
in the United States. In the United States, there's a lot of oversight.
Especially in the states where it's legal. Well, some of the states, there's really no oversight. I think one of like the states that were talking about legalizing, like you could grow so much. I think it was like North Carolina. I think
for personal use or whatever.
Yeah, like personal use. It was like something insane, like 100 square feet, you know, that could be no more than so high or something like that. But when I did the math on it, I was like, dude, they're allowing people to grow almost like 6 pounds a year at this point, huh? You know?
Jeez.
I mean, who smokes 6 pounds a year for personal use?
Not this guy.
I mean, shit, I'm happy with a gummy once a year, you know, just like, oh, I mean, besides that, you know, I don't, whatever, man.
Well, here in Ohio, we have, like, I'm sorry, you know, you can get your medical card, but you cannot grow it.
You're not allowed to grow it there?
No, which sucks because I would much rather grow my own shit because I know where it's coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it'd be cheaper.
It's just grow it in your backyard like a tomato plant, you know. But you know, you can't legally grow. Most states, you can't legally grow your own tobacco. So I mean, it's just the industry trying to protect itself at that point. Huh?
So do you think there's going to be a lot of pushback or any not interference, but any injection from the United States government to
See, the only thing that I can see is like border patrol and like who is it? Border security or whatever.
CBP,
The guys that
Customs Border and Protection.
The guys who check all your stuff when you come in across the border. They're gonna just enforce it to the point where we flipped it.
Where did they bust that? It was an 18-wheeler that had a hidden compartment that had like 20 pounds of meth or something in it. It was like it was a huge bust. It was a huge bust.
That was the one where they were using like liquid meth or something like that to hide it in like compartment in a gas tank. Something weird, but they'll figure a ways to get it across, and all they'll do is by like prohibition in the United States, all they'll do is drive the pot prices up in Mexico and just fuel the black market here even more. So
it just seems like whenever the government says you can't have that, people find a way to get that, whatever that is.
Well, you can take that to apply it to North Korea, where they have black markets for food, literal black markets for food. So I mean, when people can't get what they need or they want, they turn to the black market, and now money is being just flung around like cryptocurrency, pretty much. So
people of any culture will find a way.
Like I say, taxation and control, like taxation theft.
There you go.
Control. Had to get it off my chest before.
Pooky, you've got to actually say that once per show, or else you won't sleep well for the whole next week.
No, I won't. No, I have to get that out there to everyone. So one day, if I can hit one person to make them go like, "Oh, okay, I understand that concept," then I feel good about myself.
Well, it's legal. It's not theft. Theft is like, hey, that's not. You're not allowed to do that. I can't go into your house and take your television set. That's illegal. But the taxation is actually it's legalized theft.
Legalized theft. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they can come into your house, steal your shit,
steal your money.
You don't owe them their money.
Man, I'm thinking of this upcoming tax season and this supposed stimulus that was $2,000, then it was $1,400, and then Biden's like, well, I'm up for negotiation to actually have a litmus test on who really needs this money.
Okay, so we got the 600. The reason why they're saying 1,400 because obviously 14 plus 600 equals the 2,000.
But that's not what he said.
Well, I mean,
I understand. I absolutely understand because I can do math too. I'm like, okay, yeah, that seems legit. $1,400 plus 600. There's your $2,000.
Of course, there's idiots out there. Well, you said $2,000.
Oh yeah, immediately. As soon as Biden said $1,400, you're like, whoa! Even all the AOC and all the squad members were like, whoa! You said $2,000.
Well, you're counting on AOC to do math,
right?
So there's that.
It's like a kid in the house. Mom, you said I could stay up for 2 more hours.
Speaking of AOC, not to derail the train or anything.
Oh no, derail away.
The tweet that she put out about the whole Robin Hood thing. This is right back to what we were talking about earlier, but she came out and said something along, "This is not right. There's a free market, free trade, and not even like 10 minutes later, I think Ted Cruz comes on, has a finger point down, says, "I actually agree." He says, "I agree with you." And I was like, then, my feet got cold because hell froze.
Right. I mean, I agreed with her too, and I even posted. I'm like, I agree with this. But then she came back and she's like, Ted Cruz tried to kill me during the Capitol riots or whatever. I'm like, okay, you're back down in the gutter.
She said something smart and then right back to saying something stupid again. But like a busted clock's right twice a day or something like that. No, I didn't mean to derail that whole conversation, but I mean, it's just like you said AOC. I was like, oh yeah, I remember
that. So since we're on. We're singing the praises of government and executive leadership. Let's talk about masks. So when you go out in the state that you belong in, either Mom or Pooky, you guys have to wear a mask if you go like grocery shopping or go to church or go bowling or whatever.
It is mandated very weirdly in my state because I live in a southern state. But if you're inside a building, yes, you have to wear it technically. Unless you're in a restaurant, you have to wear it until you sit down at the table, and then you can take your mask off.
Well, because coronavirus and studies have shown that you cannot get infected because coronavirus has the wherewithal to realize that, hey, these folks are trying to eat, so they're not going to infect you. That's the reason.
Or like in my state, apparently the coronavirus only comes out after 11 o'clock at night. So
you guys
bars
have
to shut
curfews
down.
and whatnot?
Yeah. We can't sell alcohol past a certain time because, if you drink after that, then coronavirus is going to come kill you.
What about you,
Doesn't
Mom? What do you got
alcohol
going
kill
on there?
everything?
What's that?
Because doesn't alcohol kill everything?
You'd think it would. I mean, the right kind of.
Probably why I haven't gotten it yet.
So, Mom, kids are in school?
Yeah, they are.
everything's-
You actually have the option to have your kids be remote or go to school.
Yeah, I think they're.
And
I think they're
mine
doing
go
the.
to school.
They're doing the same thing.
Unless-
They're doing the same thing here. I haven't. I actually got off work early today, and I actually drove through a school zone, and the lights were on. So I'm like, I guess the kids are in school. Normally, I don't get out until well after 6 p.m. So I'm at work way before 5 a.m. and I don't get off until after 6 p.m. So I never see any of the school zone stuff.
So with the whole remote learning, what the kids have realized is there are no more snow days.
I noticed that. Get an
Yes,
inclement weather
because-
day.
I
Hey,
was
let's all
actually
meet on
warning
Zoom.
Everyone about that.
I
was
knew it was
like-
going to happen too.
You guys just lost your snow days. What? I was like, yeah, you guys just lost your snow days.
Those kids have essentially been off for about a year, since last Christmas or since last spring break. Last March. They went on spring break and they never came back. Hey, Mr.
Hey,
Harvey,
Steve
how you
Harvey.
doing? Welcome to the show. Let me open up the unified chat.
The
Forgot to do that, so I can talk to.
I must be a peasant because I have to do it the old way, where I'm gonna like surf around and click on a bunch of things.
Yeah,
But,
58 open windows.
Yeah, I think I'm there. No, but yeah, they realized they don't have school days. They had to, have remote learning. But here's the thing. When they do the remote learning, they are done by noon.
Mm-hmm.
They log in like 7:40 and they are done by noon because, they don't have to worry about like all those separate breaks and all that shit. They're done by noon. So I don't think it's that bad as they think it is.
I think life as we know it is going to change after this Rona is gone, and in the breeze, and we have a handle on it, and it's not an issue, and it's not being politicized like it is. I think that we're going to change as a nation. Businesses are going to realize that, hey, we can have people work from home. We don't need as large of an office space, or schools can say, we're going to do. Your summer school can be done on Zoom, or something's going to change, or, even school, not have the kids in school 5 days a week. It might be 3 days a week or 4 days a week. You have like one Zoom day every other Friday or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I'm not making suggestions by any means.
One thing too is these kids don't realize is like I lived up north my childhood, so we'd get battered by blizzards. I used to think it was the coolest thing on the planet. Like, I'm getting school days off. Yeah, I got a whole 3 weeks of school off because this blizzard rolled through. And then I'm sitting in school till the middle of like July, dang near making up a year. So they won't have to make up them school days anymore. So it works out.
It's interesting you mentioned that. I lived after I got back from Iraq, I lived in northern Ohio in the Toledo area for a little bit. And we had
That's a change.
We had, from Texas. There was a July, it was like 2014, where we had just over Christmas. I had gone to Montana for Christmas. We came back. There was a little bit of snow on the ground. More snow was on the way. We had just a dump of snow. So I expected, okay, the kids are going to be off for a couple of days. They were off for a couple of days. The first couple of days of January, they cleared the roads. School was back in session for like 2 days, and then it got warm, and then it froze. And I've still got a screenshot of the weather that day. Wind chill, and this is in the middle of the day. It was like 43 below zero was the wind chill. Ambient temperature was like -15, and it stayed that cold for like the rest of the month of January. And the kids could not go to school because the whoever clears the roads, they couldn't get the ice off the roads, so the buses couldn't run. If the buses couldn't run, that means all the children didn't have an equal opportunity to be at school. So that's like they had the entire month of January off, and you're absolutely right, Pookie. My kids went to school up up to the beginning of the July 4th holiday.
Yeah, that was, I think, the shortest summer vacation. I think it was like literally like 3 weeks I had.
Yeah.
It was nuts. It was just like, yay, we're on summer vacation. Back to school.
Go crap.
Just, like, damn, it was just.
That's nuts.
I'm trying
Anyway,
to think of like the longest time. I want to say it was like my 8th grade year. And I think, yeah. So we had almost, I want to say the full month of January off, probably about 3 weeks. And then all that snow kind of melted and longer. No, maybe longer. Probably almost a month. All the snow melted. And I live, like on the Ohio River. And because of the snow, we had like massive amounts of rain and it flooded. We were out for another 2 weeks because of the flooding.
and what's really crazy is up there you have the ice flow. When the snow starts melting, if you're in the mountains, you get the snow melt from the mountains and it overflows all the rivers down like in the Ohio Valley.
Yeah.
You have the ice flow. When the ice starts breaking
Yeah.
up and starts flowing, it starts making these big ass ice dams, and people's houses get just bowled over because of ice. It's crazy, dude. So anyway, we were talking about masks.
Yes, we were. We kind of got derailed.
How many masks? How many
that was my
masks?
fault.
How many masks? How many masks do you have to wear, Mr. Pooky? Here in Texas, we have to wear one mask. Except today, I had a VA appointment, and I went to go walk into the VA, and they took my temperature. They asked me a bunch of questions. Are you experiencing any symptoms? And blah 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 blah. I said no, and they said, okay, you can't wear that mask. You have to wear this mask. So they had to issue me a mask. I just wear like a neck gaiter, and they're like, no, we don't accept those, so you have to wear this. So they gave me this other mask.
That makes sense. I see a lot of people walking around with neck gaiters on. They don't even do shit. And
No, they
no
don't.
reason to wear it at that point.
They don't. I've been wearing those since this all began, and it's been fine. Knock on wood. But yeah,
it's a placebo effect. But
So-
Rod, you go ahead.
Okay.
I was about to get into something dirty, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you're talking about wearing more than one condom?
Yeah, if you got to put on more than one condom, reconsider your life choices.
Hold on, I've only got 3 on. Let me get a 4th on here. I love you, honey.
You're diving into some shit that you don't need to dive into.
Fingering, maybe? I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about masks. Since March of 2020, social distancing and wearing of face masks has been recommended by health experts. Now they're upping the ante. White House advisor Dr. Fauci says wearing 2 masks likely provides more protection, and other health experts say wearing 3 is even better. So
How about we just bump it up to like SCBA tanks?
I was thinking, okay, now the next step is going to be, okay, everybody's going to be issued a scuba tank and a respirator.
So I posted something on my personal Facebook about this when I first saw it. This is literally minimum wage logic. Like, let's just keep adding more to help everyone out. So it's just I don't understand it. One mask is not going to work. 2 masks might work. 3 masks definitely work. I've even heard them talking about N95 masks. We should have been wearing them the whole time, but
But there's short supply of them, so not everybody can wear one.
I'm just wondering who owns stock in these mask companies up at the government that they're trying to do this.
I mean, well, there's 3M for sure. I don't know.
When all this kicked off, I mean, we have had. We still have, but now they're issued to you N95 masks if you're working with metal or something. We have N95 masks to filter the air so you're not breathing in aluminum dust and all that other crap. But as soon as the Rona kicked off, the first things that disappeared off of our general stock that you can take off the shelf were the masks. They disappeared. Our hand sanitizer and the gloves. They all disappeared, and they were issued only.
Carl Whalen mentioned the anal tests.
Oh my gosh, China! I thought that was like a duffel blog, or if that was some kind of Babylon Bee thing going on, but I guess China's doing that.
What? it's bad enough you get swabbed up the nose or down your throat. Now they want to like swab your asshole. Like,
Oh, that's China
like,
right there.
drop them, boys. Let's go.
If they try that here, there's some fighting words going. There's some fighting going down. That's all I gotta say.
So here's a quote. Here's a quote from Fauci.
That's not how it works.
Here's a quote from Fauci. He says that this is quote, so if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense, and it's likely to be more effective, Fauci told the Today Show. This is the reason why you see people either double masking or doing a version of the N95. CNBC took it a step further by explaining why not only double masking, but triple masking is even better. I mean, dude, why don't you just put a Walmart bag over your head, too? This new push for more masks comes after variants of the COVID-19 virus have been discovered that reportedly spread more easily. This new variant was first discovered in the UK, but has since been found in the United States. And
They found it here in our area.
B177 COVID-2 SARS or something like that.
Whatever the code is. Yeah, we got the Africa version here in Texas. It was detected in Texas. I don't.
They were saying something. I saw something about a new strand, but I kind of had a funny feeling this would happen once the COVID news started dropping, that a new strain would pop out. But me, put my tinfoil hat on again. I'm the conspiracy theorist here, and I've been right about a lot of these things. We're still day 976 in 30 days to stop the curve or something.
Yeah, we're gonna flatten the curve. We can flatten that curve.
Yeah. We're 300 or some days into that now, or 400, whatever it is. I can't even keep track anymore.
We're almost at 1 year. Go ahead.
The whole thing with like the flatten the curve, everybody thinks we could just stop COVID. That's what everybody thinks in their minds. The whole idea behind like the mask and all that stuff is just to flatten it. Like, it needs to run its course, and that is what people are not getting. They freak out when like things happen and you catch it. Oh, I got it. Like, okay, that's what's supposed to happen. We're all going to get it at some point in time.
Don't say, bite your tongue. I don't want it. I haven't had it. I've never had symptoms, but I've got a healthy immune system.
I got it back in November or sometime last year, early November or sometime last year. Not this year, 2 years or whatever.
They think I had it December 2019, right before all this went down. Like, I was hospitalized with bilateral pneumonia out of the blue. I like this cold, then bam, I had pneumonia. Like, my taste, I didn't even have a taste. I didn't like the smell part. I don't even remember that, but I remember because I was pregnant with COVID Carl.
Thus the name.
Yeah, it sucks because I was craving stuff and I could not taste it.
That's like one of the
punishment.
That's one of the cells of hell right there. Is
Yeah,
where you're
when
super
craving
hungry,
stuff.
you know what you want and you get it, but you can't taste it.
Yes.
Like
so
tacos.
they're on. That's what they just assumed it was just pneumonia, and then I scheduled to have my antibody test like next week to see if I've had it or not.
I don't know. I asked about that, and they're like, no, the test isn't refined enough, because if you've had a cold, you're going to come positive on the antibody test. If you've had the common cold, you're going to come positive on the antibody test.
Isn't the common cold a version of the coronavirus?
It is a coronavirus, not the coronavirus. It is a coronavirus.
I don't know. I try to explain it to people. I guess like a lot of people didn't read a lot of like Greek mythology when they were in school these days, but there's this thing called Pandora's box, and like once it was opened, you can't put it back in. So, hey, wake up, people. We got to deal with this. And I've been saying since day one, we need to worry about protecting the most vulnerable and just let everything go about its business. But everyone wanted to just do this Band-Aid, fix-all, one-size-fits-all plan, and now you've got an entire group of people, which I call cultists, the mask cultists, because like I actually forgot to walk into a store one time without putting my mask on, and I had like Karen in the corner, put your mask on.
I get really
work at the store.
I get really funny looks when I'm walking through a parking lot without a mask on. I'm walking, or I'm going
Not
to walk
inside the building, bitch.
Or walk around the park. I get, I see people driving in by themselves in cars with masks on, and I'm just like, I'm chilling out. I'm like, I think my mask is in my glove box. I'm going from point A to
I
point
have an
B.
idea. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 masks, why don't we just wear a mask 24/7? You know, the problem solved. Oh no, I just gave him a bad idea. I shouldn't have even said that.
You know what sucks about wearing a mask and you're shopping is hot flashes. Hot flashes suck. I'm just saying, and period. But when you have a mask on, it makes it so much worse. That is just my mom tip of the day.
I get anxiety attacks like when I'm out in like Walmart and stuff, you know, like real bad, and I start hyperventilating, and I just want to like rip it off and scream, but I try to be like calm. You know,
I don't. I'll take it down. I'll take a deep breath of regular air and go about my business or something. And, you know, I wear glasses. So, you know, if I'm trying to read a label, I'm going to take the mask off so my glasses aren't foggy so I can read a label.
That's like my mom has to do. She wears glasses when she's out in public. But she has to drop it down just below her nose so it doesn't fog her glasses up. I'm like, Mom, at this point, you're just wearing a chin diaper. That's all. Like, there's no reason for you to wear it because if you're gonna get infected by it, 99% of the time you're gonna be like through your nose and you're gonna catch it that way. So.
But here's the thing too. Like now they're suggesting double masking, triple masking, or just wearing a scuba mask. Karens are now going to be out in full force. You're not double masking.
The cultists. They're not Karens anymore. They're like straight mask cultists at this point.
True.
The branch Covidians.
You want old people to die. You just don't care about people. No, I'm just minding my own business. Leave me the fuck alone, please. End of story.
Cough on them. Just start coughing.
All right.
No. I wouldn't want to try to do that. I might catch a felony these days with that. I don't know.
Catch an assault charge.
Not on them, just like around them.
Hey, we have funds in the WTF Nation radio coffers to bail you out if you need it. Isn't that right, Mom?
But I find funny.
I think we do. I need to go back and check the numbers.
So
I
President,
still find it funny, like when someone coughs with their mask on, like you hear, but then everyone's head just like snaps towards them, like instantly, like.
Yeah.
I'm always like, if I have to cough, I'm not going to cough inside my mask. That's just gross. I do it in my elbow. If I sneeze, it'll be in my elbow. But damn. So President Biden signed an executive order. Another one of the many.
Just now.
One of the many. No, this was
breaking.
This isn't breaking. This isn't breaking.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say. Oh, that makes 41 now. Wow.
No, this was actually on his inauguration day. President signed executive orders, actually the day after, that mandate wearing masks on airplanes, trains, buses, in airports, as well as on federal property. Now, I don't use public transportation, but the last I heard, at least in my state, if you are going to ride a bus, you're going to have our local leadership has already said wear a mask. Airplanes, wear a mask.
That makes sense because it's so close quarters, though.
Right. Buses, trains, airports. I've been in the airport once since this thing. I had to pick up a friend from the airport. Everybody is masked there. So this is way before Biden came out and signed an executive order. So people are taking care of business. But now that there's an executive order,
10th Amendment.
So, but, and this is what I'm talking about, masks for thee, but not for me. On the evening of January 20th, 2021, a video of U.S. President Joe Biden listening to a performance by musician Yo-Yo Ma at the Lincoln Memorial while not wearing a face mask was widely circulated on social media, along with the claim that the newly sworn-in president was acting hypocritically by violating a new executive order on mask use that he had signed just hours earlier. Water carriers for the Biden administration provide a couple of excuses, and these are reasonable excuses. Number one, and this was an excuse given by the new press secretary, if you've ever seen her. Biden, she said, Biden was caught up in the momentous occasion that he was the president of the United States, and it slipped his mind. Number two, masks are not necessary outdoors, and that is where he was. True. This is a cherry-picked moment and a willful misunderstanding of Biden's new mask policy. Was number three.
Can I throw a number 4 out there?
Sure. What's number 4?
He'd done already forgot that he signed the executive order.
I don't think he remember. I don't think there's actually video out there. To be
honest with you, I don't think he signed a single. Well, he signed them, but they're just putting stuff in front of him right now at this point, and he signed the pen.
He signed.
And that's.
Did you see the video?
Sign this, sir. Just sign this, sir. And
did you see the?
Did he sign something? Now he has like this brand new Charger that's like a 500,000% interest rate.
No, did you see the video of him with his stack? His first stack. There was like 18 executive orders that he was signing. There was one in front of him, and he had a pen in his hand. And they said, "Okay, sir, sign it." And he looked down and he goes, "I don't think I know what I'm signing." "That's okay, sir. Just sign it." And that was the B-roll from that little exchange there. And it was just a photo op of him signing, and it didn't look like there was any printing on those documents. They looked like folders with paper in them, and he was signing something, but it was nothing. I didn't see anything.
All right now is right. I think, honest to God, truth. Right now, all he is an elected official that people could. I could probably, if I could sneak up in there and hand him an executive order, I could probably have him sign the Treasury me for like $50 billion at this point, and he wouldn't even realize that he did it. No? And I'm not saying I'm trying to sneak in the White House. It was just a joke. So don't come at me. Don't come at me.
I don't think we have enough funds to bail you out for that.
No, I know. I wouldn't try that. No. You won't catch me anywhere near D.C. Screw that. Screw the government. I'd stay away from y'all. You all evil.
Tell you what, man. I'm not going to D.C. You're not going to catch me on an airplane or any mass transit. If I need to go somewhere, I'm going to drive. So anyway, all of this stuff, and the left is up in arms. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're being so hypocritical of President Biden." And I'm like, dude, what the hell have we been living through for the last 4 years? Everything everything and nothing, everything
Trump,
that Bush,
Orange man bad, Orange man bad, Trump.
Everything that Trump did wasn't right, or there was some other reason for it. He couldn't do anything right at all. Everything. There was always like, yeah, okay, there's peace, in these countries in the Middle East, and there's all these peace agreements, but,
ABC and CNN are still riding the Trump train real hard, because I swear I can't go like 15 minutes without scrolling through my Facebook with seeing Trump did this and Trump did that.
Like, well, he's no longer president now.
No,
so
get over it.
Okay, let me hit this last story before we take a break. And we're going to welcome our awesome guests from Back to the Heroes Rumble. Federal charges for a meme. Have you seen that little news?
Briefly.
Florida man was arrested the other morning. Charges on conspiring with others in advance of the 2016 election to disseminate misinformation designed to deprive individuals of their constitutional right to vote.
Shit, I'm in trouble.
Heavy words. Douglas Mackey, a.k.a. Ricky Vaughn, age 31, of West Palm Beach, was charged by a criminal complaint in the Eastern District of New York. What? He was taken into custody the other morning in West Palm Beach and made his initial appearance before a U.S. magistrate judge. Quote, "There is no place in public discourse for lies and misinformation to defraud citizens of their right to vote," said this person, who is the acting U.S. attorney of the Eastern District of New York. With Mackey's arrest, continuing the quote, "We serve notice that those who would subvert the democratic process in this manner cannot rely on the cloak of internet anonymity to evade responsibility for their crimes. They will be investigated. They will be caught and prosecuted to the full extent of the law."
Scary.
This is the meme.
Permaban from Twitter for something similar.
This is the meme that I'm showing right now. The complaint alleges that in 2016, Mackey established an audience with Twitter with approximately, he had an account of 58,000 or so followers. A February 2016 analysis by an MIT Media Lab ranked Mackey as the 107th most important influencer of that election, ranking his accounts above outlets and individuals such as NBC News, Stephen Colbert, and Newt Gingrich. As alleged in the complaint, between September 2016 and November 2016, in the lead up to the November election, when President Trump was elected, Mackey conspired with others to use social media platforms, including Twitter and others, to disseminate fraudulent messages designed to encourage supporters of one of the presidential candidates. The candidate, obviously, here is Hillary. He said, vote via text message. He said, for example, on November 1st, Mackey allegedly tweeted an image that featured an African-American woman standing in front of an African-Americans for Hillary Clinton sign. The image included the following text: avoid the line, vote from home. Text Hillary. Text Hillary to 59.
Fall for this shit, you should
I know. Text Hillary to 59925 and vote for the candidate and be a part of history. The fine print at the bottom of the image says you must be 18 or older to vote. 1 vote per person. Must be a legal citizen of the United States. Voting by text not available in Guam, Puerto Rico, Alaska, or Hawaii. Paid for by Hillary Clinton for President 2016. Who would believe
honestly,
that?
This is why I have no faith in democracy, is because some idiot who could have voted did this. And I mean, if you're
they should not be like voting at all.
And they thought that their vote counted.
No, if you thought your vote counted doing this shit, it's like people saying something about it. I saw it around the time Trump was trying to get elected last time. It's like voting days, if there's early voting, or late voting or something, make sure you go vote the 8th or something like that, or something weird like that. I seen that. If you
believe that, just
low information voters piss me off to no extent. I'm just gonna say it. Come at me. I'll say that. Come at me if you want to. That's my opinion, not the radio's opinion. Mine, but I'll end it with that.
Okay, awesome, dude. I think we haven't gassed out because we've got a whole other hour left, and Back to Heroes Rumble. Carl and Caela are going to be here right after the break. The break's going to be, let me do math. That's a 3-minute song. Let me get on the right screen there. That's 4 minutes. Okay, we're going to be about 8 minutes. About an 8-minute break. So, Carl and Caela call in like 6 minutes or so. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back right after these lovely tunes.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, Mia, you better hide your baby oil.
You better hide that big-ass forehead.
All right, everybody, we are back for the second hour of Friday Night Freedom. My name is Koz, and up over my shoulder is Pooky. And guess what? We are going to be joined here in just a second by Carl Whalen and Caela Collettee. Carl Whalen is the co-founder and president of Back the Heroes Rumble, and he's going to be on to talk about what they do for our veterans and service members and first responders. And Sergeant Joseph P. Collettee, age 29, was assigned to the 242nd Ordnance Battalion, 71st EOD Disposal EOD Group. I'm sorry, gosh, slow down, Koz. From Fort Carson, Colorado, Sergeant Collettee died on March 22nd during a combat mission in Afghanistan's Kunduz province from injuries resulting from enemy fire. He was survived by his wife, Caela, two children, Blair and Cody, and two stepchildren, Lena and Aria. Caela is joining us tonight with Carl, and she's going to talk about how Back the Heroes Rumble helped her through all of that turmoil, and she's going to kill this music here. I don't know how loud that is in people's ears, but welcome to the show, y'all. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
So Back the Heroes Rumble, is that just how did you come up with that name? It's Back the Heroes multiple, Rumble meaning it's their fight. It's basically just a Back the Heroes thing. There's tons of veteran supporting organizations out there. Some of them have just obvious names, and Back the Heroes Rumble. What's the Rumble?
So, to be as brief and succinct as I can, I have to go back to before the nonprofit was created, what led to it. In February of 2019, we lost a fallen police officer. He was killed in the line of duty in a tragic way. Which there's no other way around it. You lose someone in the line of duty, it's tragic. We decided to put on a car show because his little one really loved cars. And when we put that show together, we put it together in 30 days. I'm not kidding you. When the community came around and rallied around what we did, and I had no idea what I was doing with a car show. I had people that came on and helped, and we raised over $12,000 for this Heroes family.
That is so awesome.
The cars, when they poured in, we had 499 show vehicles. Just picture this. Most car shows only have 30, 40 cars for their first ever show. We had 500. It was loud. The ground shook when people came in droves. And so that kind of the rumble, quaking to the core of the loss of the hero, just your whole life being shook up. That's the whole rumble aspect. And we focus heavily in a niche crowd on the car community, who is very pro-police, fire, military, surprisingly. And that is why it is Back the Heroes Rumble.
Oh, okay. See, I was looking up, synonyms for Rumble. I'm like, okay, I'm picking out words going, okay, I kind of get where he's going with this. But now that you've explained it, it means so much more.
Absolutely. And, the other reason why we did Rumble was, funny enough, my wife was going to call it Brumble. And I'm like, that's not going to click. Let's just do Rumble. And then she's like, that sounds better. And it just stuck. And my wife's the other co-founder. She's the secretary and the board, but she's a co-founder and the honorary contact liaison. And when I don't want to jump ahead on questions, but she's the one that contacts the families of the heroes we decide to honor.
Do you find, because you're in the tri-state area, you have Kentucky, Ohio. Let me see, Kentucky. I don't want to throw in Michigan there. Kentucky, Ohio.
Please don't.
I'm sorry.
That's a good thing.
Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. Did you choose those three states, or is that's where you're from? Obviously, maybe not so obviously.
Our tri-state encumbers those three states,
right?
But the biggest reason we chose it is because we want to serve the entire states of Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. And it just worked with the logo. I mean, when I was creating the logo, we originally were Back the Blue Rumble. There was no Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky touch to it. And then we're like, well, we support more than just the police, and with the polarizing climate we're in, where there's a lot of anti-police rhetoric. We wanted to make sure everybody knew we supported more than just our brothers in blue. We want to support the fire, the military. I think I need to seek some clarity here. When you say the veteran community, we partner with a lot of nonprofits that will overlap, I'm sure, helping other veterans and things like that. Our focus is police and fire, but we do active duty personnel, reserve, National Guard, those who may actively be serving in the military and come across hardship. Like I know there was one family in a neighboring military base where their house burnt down, and the husband was deployed, and they lost everything. And this group reached out to us and said, have you guys gotten funding yet for Operation Safety Net? And I said, no. So unfortunately we couldn't help them, but I had to point them to the other direction, to other organizations that we partner with that fortunately was able to help that family. But
that's a really good thing about and I was going to say veterans organizations, but just like service organizations like this that do back the police and fire and stuff. The network, you might say you're in a tri-state area, but your network is nationwide. Because you know people, you meet people, you're probably on groups on Facebook and stuff that support the blue, support the reds, just support veterans. And it's just, everyone is like, hey, I can't do anything personally, but my friend Bob over in South Dakota, he knows some people and he can take care of you. Here's his number, or here's his email.
There's actually a nonprofit in Montana that just partnered with us.
Excellent.
Called Home of the Brave.
Okay.
Or Honor the Brave, excuse me. Butchering their name. Sorry about that. Honor the Brave. And what they do is they're a leasing or a realtor group that are volunteers for helping veterans and military and all the heroes in those branch entities we serve, right? And what they do is when they have one of those individuals come to them to buy a home, even if they're not from in that state, they'll help them buy the home, and then they'll kick 10% of their proceeds from, what they get paid for commission back to that hero and say, here, this is money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
And then they kick another 5% towards a nonprofit organization and a premier list, and we're one of those on the list, to help support our cause.
So how do you there's a lot of networking involved. I mean, because it's a lot more than, hey, look at me, I've got a great heart. We're gonna take care of our, back the blue. Look at this guy. He's got a nice haircut. He looks honest, and he cares about police and fire. So why should we support you? Do you have a connection? Do you have a connection with law enforcement? You're a veteran.
Yes, we have an extensive connection with law enforcement. We actually also work with other law enforcement nonprofits. One in particular we're talking with and having be partner with us at our car show is the Shield of Ohio, and they're a very big organization whose focus point is to help families like the ones we help, the fallen families of police officers. And what they do is they help coordinate funds that are raised for major fundraisers throughout the community, and they coordinate making sure the money makes it to those families' hands. They're a big partner of ours now. We have the Police Wives of Ohio. Mm-hmm. There's a national organization called the Police Wives, and then they have each state. And we partner with them to try to help bring awareness to that what they do. They provide trauma kits, cat tourniquets, morale and welfare needs to police units throughout the state of Ohio, whatever state they're part of. And what we do is we decided we would go on a blanket term, and we would have 3 different programs. Our Operation Never Forget, which is the car show. Every year we honor a fallen hero, and the family receives 100% of the event proceeds.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing what happens with the community when
that's a big deal.
Everything sponsored by other businesses.
That is a really big deal. Why car shows? Is this because of the one officer's son that liked cars, or it just seems so? I've been to car shows. I grew up in in my younger years in the Chicago area. So you go to McCormick Place and there's always these car shows and there's always a lot of people, but most people are just kind of walking by, eating peanuts and popcorn and looking at the cool cars. And
we're not like any other car show you go to. Yes, there's the car show aspect where people come, they pay their fee, they park their car, they sit by their car, walk by and talk to other comrades, and they donate, other causes for like raffles and stuff like that. And then they hope to win a trophy. But there's a lot more to a car show than just that. And I found this out on my own, going to several car shows, trying to canvas with flyers for our event. And I find that it is the car show community that goes to these events, even those that are just spectators, are very generous people. They want the money to go to a good cause. And 9 times out of 10, a car show is exactly that, a fundraiser for a good cause. And I mean, there's several organizations out there that use car shows. There's one up in Northern Ohio that volunteers to do it and then raises money for Wounded Warrior Project.
That's great.
It's a very big resource for us, and it's a festive way to do it too. It's not just one of those run of the mill of, hey, we're going to have a quarter auction, everybody buy some beer, and then we're going to try to raise as much money as we can for this family. But in the meantime, we know that the widow's over there in the corner crying. No, that's not how we want to run things. We want to celebrate the hero's life. We want to bring that family in and say, you're our family now. We're here. Bring the community together and have everybody be able to give that person a hug, whether it's fundraising wise or it's literal, give them a hug, and building that support network for those families, because Lord knows that it's a very lonely place when the very person you woke up to every morning next to in bed, every night you slept with next to that bed is no longer there.
It's an extremely personal connection. And that's the beautiful part about it. There's fundraising events that I experience here. I'm in the north central Texas area that just seem so disconnected. It's like, hey, look at us, we're a cool organization, and 10% of our proceeds that we're doing from this, I'm just going to throw this out, cookie sale, are going to go towards the Wounded Warrior Project or whatever. So they're making money hand over fist, and 10% of that's going to go towards some organization. I personally appreciate the ones that are just like, they're all in for whatever cause that they're raising money for, whether it's a fallen firefighter, police officer, a veteran from that community, or whatever. How did you get introduced to Caela?
Believe it or not, it was kind of like a, hey, here I am. So we decided we wanted to do this as a regular annual thing.
Okay.
This was just after we got done doing the car show for the fallen police officer. And I'm pretty mentally exhausted, but after a couple weeks, my wife and I are like, let's hit the ground running. We applied for a 501c. 21 days later, we got it. Then we moved forward to, let's put this car show together. And I had to start over with some new people, bring them in, volunteers left and right, put the car show together. And we're like, we need a hero to honor. Who do we want to honor? We decided military. And we said, we want to focus on Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. Then, unfortunately, while we're in the process of doing all this, getting our 501c3, everything, we come across this heartbreaking story about Caela and her awesome husband, Joey, laying down his life for his brothers in Afghanistan in the most unexpected way. They just got married. It was a heartbreaking story. And we're like, we want to help this family. They've got kids. Let's help. If nothing else, the money will go to the kids. Let's help this family. And so then my wife and I did some heavy digging. We reached out to Ohio SOS, which is the something about significant others support, as I think it's what it's called. And they're like, hey, we know how to get a hold of this person. So we did some more digging, and we got a hold of Joey Collettee, mom, and not his biological mom, his stepmom and dad. And that's how we got a hold of Caela. And it just, we happened to get a hold of her and we say, can we honor your loved one? Would you like to be at this event?
Oh my gosh.
And we were expecting a no. We weren't sure, but you got to roll the dice. And she thankfully accepted. And that's where we went all in and tried to make it a big event for her family.
That's absolutely beautiful. And before we get to Caela, personally, it's just, if you're an organization that is so, your heart is open and your support is obviously there, you got to deal with scammers and stuff. I mean, you got to vet people. You're like, yeah. It's just got to be. It sucks, but you have to make sure that all the blocks are checked and everything checks out.
It takes work.
It does.
But that's one of the other reasons why when we did this car show, we were like, I'd rather find out that the person didn't lose a loved one and the money still goes to a family in need than, God forbid. But I did not expect that one bit. I did not expect one bit that we were going to get flused or hosed by somebody who openly was all over the Army Times, was lost in the line of duty. We knew that this was the right thing to do.
It was a legit thing.
We all 100% volunteer. None of us make anything from this nonprofit. I've got my VA benefits. I've got my wife who works. We have all the money we could use. So I don't see the need to make a single penny off of this. This is something that helps lull my demons from post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's my way of treating that by survivor's guilt as a medic by doing this.
I was just going to ask, what did you do in the military? You said you were a medic.
Yes, sir. I was a 68 Whiskey Mike 6, but unfortunately was attached to a line unit out of 1st Infantry Division, Fort Riley, Kansas. So I was a glorified medic, which meant that I was able to hang antibiotics without much of a need of a PA, which is kind of cool. But, I miss it. I don't miss the politics. I don't miss the BS.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I find myself going, man, I don't miss the hazing I got because I was with the cavalry, and if you ain't cav, you ain't shit.
Cav man.
So, and it's okay. I mean, they're an arrogant bunch of son of a bitches. But you know what? I went through their spur ride, and I survived that. So I have a little bit of a patch on my shoulder.
Yeah. No, I wasn't them, but I knew them. I get it. I really understand the missing it thing. I was out of the Army for like 11 years. I got out in 96, and then in 2010, I'm like, screw this. My wife wanted to move to Ohio. She had just got her PhD in psychology, and she wanted to teach at university. So I'm like, okay. So I flew up to the area that she wanted to move to. And I'm like, okay, there's really no jobs here. I'm going to go and contract overseas for a year, come back, and then, we'll have a little bit of a bankroll. I can go back to college, and we'll just make things work. So that was that. But man, it was just I forget where I was going with that, man. It's just. But yeah, I was attached. I felt a need to go back and support the military, so I went back on a State Department contract, and I got assigned, of course, to a CAV unit from Alaska, a reserve unit from Alaska, and they were running OH-58 patrols up in the Missoula area in Kirkuk, and it was just seeing how these guys are treated. I'm like, okay, now I'm an adult. I'm actually college educated now. I've had some life experience outside the military, and there's no way that I could ever be in the military again. And that was the feeling that I left with. I'm like, okay, I did my time. I'm really proud of my time. I'm really proud of all the men and women that serve in the military, but there's no freaking way that I could do this again. So I did a year up there, and then I came back home.
Hey, that's why they call them the 1%ers, Koz, because only 1%, sometimes even less, get the privilege to serve in our United States military because we're the best of the best. And to be able to wear that patch on your shoulder from the 1st Infantry Division, knowing that they stormed the beaches of Normandy,
right?
They
a lot of history there.
The attack there. I mean, that's huge. And being part of the Bloody First is something I'm very proud of.
So I'd like to bring Caela into the conversation. I have no words. I don't know how to even begin this conversation. I've thought about this for 3 days. I've taken notes. I'm like, how do you introduce the widow of a fallen service member and not get emotional? And I'm just going to start this by I love you, and I really hope things are going your way, and I just have to get that off my chest. This isn't just a flat you've called up and now we're going to talk. It's just there's an emotional connection. I have no idea who your husband was, but absolutely emotionally feel the pain of his loss, and it's just I don't know how to explain it, and I'm really glad that you got in touch with Carl and Back the Heroes Rumble, and that you didn't just delete the email and hang up the phone call.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, so Joey's stepmom is actually who first got in contact with Carl and Andrea. And you know how you were saying you kind of have to vet organizations and fundraisers and things like that. And I really didn't have like the mental capacity or the energy to do that by myself. So Cindy luckily kind of like did all that for me. And she's like, look, there's this really nice organization. I really think that you should like check them out. So yeah, I'm really glad she did that. Yeah, Carl and Andrea both are really like family to me now.
That's great. I mean, so it wasn't just a one-off event, and thank you for being here, and you'll never hear from us again. It's you guys have become close, so to speak.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I'll even get messages from both of them from time to time, like just checking in on me, see how I'm doing. We stay connected on social media and all that still.
How are you doing, Caela?
It's hard to say, you know. It's been almost 2 years now. And what I would say with grief, it's kind of, you know, the only thing that can help really is time and love and support from loved ones, and grace, giving grace to yourself and letting yourself kind of work through it in your own time. And for every person, it's completely different. So for me, I still do have days where I struggle. My brain isn't what it used to be. You know, they say there's like mom brain and pregnancy brain. There's also widow brain. So yeah, that's been something to kind of learn how to live life now. Because it is, you know, kind of always in the back of your mind.
It ebbs and flows. I would imagine, you know, you're going to have your good days, and then you're going to have your bad days, and then there'll be those triggers that was like, where you just like break down, like, oh my gosh, and then it comes down,
right.
And then 3 days later you're back to normal. And
right. Yeah, it could be something as small as, you know, just like a song coming on the radio, or just a funny memory that pops up, and you're like, that was really funny. And then it kind of triggers those emotions again. Or even like smelling like a similar cologne to what he used to wear. You know, it's kind of, you know, things like that.
Tell me about Joey.
So he was possibly the funniest person I've ever met. And I'm not exaggerating that. I'm not saying that he was my husband. He genuinely was. Like, he could meet a stranger on the street and they would immediately love him. Humor was like his way of like breaking boundaries with people and getting connected with people. He was like kind of on the shorter side, a short king, if you will. And he would walk up to like the tallest dude and be like, hey, can I climb you? Like, just weird off the wall things. Just immediately like breaking down those barriers.
I see the picture that I have of him in his EOD outfit. I'm like, that kind of looks really big on him. Was he a small fella?
Yeah. He actually let me put it on one time, and it's like, it weighs as much as I do. So that was a fun experiment, but yeah.
So when Joey approached you and you guys started dating, what was it? His humor that attracted you to him? Was he just that he was the guy?
Yeah, I would say that was definitely one of the first things that I noticed. But yeah, like at the same time, you know, he can make jokes about things, but he can also be like really serious and kind and listen when you need to be heard. And, you know, he was just one of the best people that I've met, just all around.
That's actually perfect. when you contacted, or when you came in contact with Carl, did those emotions start to like reemerge? I mean, you had things happened, and then you began to recover emotionally and physically, and then you get contacted, probably, but not just by Carl, but by probably a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that was extremely overwhelming.
Exactly.
I even took a step back from social media for a little while, just because it was so much. But yeah, as far as like other organizations, I had a lot of other organizations contacting me, but like I said, I just didn't have that like mental capacity or energy to kind of go through that. But honestly, when I got in contact with Carl, I was still kind of in that fog, that initial fog. So I was still in the time of my life where it was kind of affecting me every minute of every day.
Okay.
Insomnia was a really hard thing to deal with. So I was sleeping probably an average of like 2 hours a night, which that alone will drive you crazy. But yeah, so I remember like when I went to the car show and like walking around, it really did like bring up more of those emotions. But it was more of it was sad, of course. But it was more pride filled than anything, seeing, everyone who came out and all the support that Joey was getting and all the recognition that he was getting that he's always deserved. And I told him that even, before we got married, I was like, you're pretty great. Like you don't get as much recognition as you deserve. And so seeing that finally like happening was pretty emotional as well.
It's incredible with the veteran community. I mean, because you're walking around this car show, and I'll bet you're probably the only person that actually knew Joey, but everyone was there for Joey. And the amazing support that you get from the veteran community and from organizations like Back the Heroes Rumble is amazing. And it's really it's heartwarming to see the support from people that you don't know, that support you or your husband or whomever, any service member. And it's really incredible. It makes me cry. It really does, that there's so much support for our military, for our firefighters and our police officers.
Yeah, it really was surreal. And even like shortly after he passed, his procession was televised and all of that. And there was a lot of stuff that I tried to like shield myself from, that I just didn't have, the energy again to kind of look at like Facebook comments and stuff. I was kind of afraid that there would be like kind of a negative feedback from some people,
or there'd be like
just based on our political climate,
or the trolls out there just going, whatever, they just throw out some comment out there that just will derail the entire train.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like there could be 1,000, loving comments, and then one negative one is like, oh man, but like they don't know the situation, they don't know him, they don't know me. But yeah, so for a long time I didn't even look at a lot of like social media posts or anything. But even going back like a year later and looking through those and seeing all of the support that me and all of our kids are getting, and Joey's family, like that is just incredible and surreal. And you really do see the best of humanity in situations like that.
Is everybody close? Are you guys geographically close?
So Joey's family is in Ohio, and his son is also in Ohio. His daughter now lives with her mom in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of just out here in the middle of Colorado. So my family's in Florida as well. So for a while I had, our military family, all of Joey's, friends and coworkers and stuff like that. They've all since, well, most of them at least, have kind of PCS to other locations, but I still keep in contact with as many people as I can, for sure.
That's it's good to keep in contact and to have that support structure. And obviously your family and Back the Heroes Rumble and, you know, Carl and Andrea are very supportive, and just the random hey, how you doing, you know, text messages, it means a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And, you know, the fact that, you know, like when something like this happens, and I feel like this is kind of common, you know, when someone passes away, whether they're recognized publicly or not, there are a lot of people who come and they try to support you immediately. But then over time, a lot of those people will kind of slowly drop off. But Carl and Andrea, like, they've been fantastic from the very beginning, even before I met them in person. Like, they just made it known how much it meant to them to do this. And when I first met them, they were like, I mean, they busted their butts on this car show. I mean, and I saw that. And
I mean,
that was
30 days with how many cars, Carl?
The 30 days was the fallen officers, but it took us 6 months to put this event together, and it was not easy.
It was not easy, but I bet it was spectacular. And you've got one coming up too.
Yes, sir, we do. Sorry, you got me in an emotional moment. I wasn't ready for a question. Even to this day, the bitter loss still stings, because I've had friends that I've seen get lost to suicide. I've guys that have died in Iraq that just got home or just got back to the duty station over in Iraq after going on leave to get married or having a child. It's painful. I'll even admit to the fact that the moment she stepped out of the vehicle, Caela did, I bawled. I tried real hard to hold it back, and it's never easy for me. I'm a very emotional guy. My wife will tell you. I've just learned, I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. It's just because I'd rather be partially vulnerable, but people know I'm real, than to hold it back and be fake. But with our car show, we want to make sure the family knows they're not there just to receive a check and for us to get publicity for supporting their family member. It has nothing to do with us. It's everything to do with them. And this year, the car show takes place. We're going to be honoring 2 fallen police officers, one of which is Officer Jason Ellis from the Bardstown, Kentucky Police Department. His case is still a cold case. He was murdered at 2 a.m. in the morning off of a Kentucky ramp on his way home from work as a K-9 unit. He had just dropped off his dog for the night, and the dog was still, wondering when is he going to come back, because they're like buddies. And then we have Detective George Del Rio, U.S. Department of Drug Enforcement Agency and a Dayton police officer. He was killed in 2019 responding to a disturbance. And 100% of the proceeds will, again, go to these heroes' families. We're pretty shocked to say this, but it's our 3rd year, and we think the show's going to be its biggest yet. It's going to be huge. We've already got people registering, and we're 6 months out from the show.
I'm sitting here going, I'm happy for your success, but I'm actually sad because of your success. I don't know if that makes any sense. My heart goes out for Caela, and I'm very happy that you all got connected, and I don't have any words. I have no words. And this is awful for a guy that talks. But it's just, I'm very happy for the success of Back the Heroes Rumble, but I really wish you were broke. I hate that this is happening. That would be a good problem to have.
Right? I will tell you this, every year we almost feel like we are, because we make every flippin' penny go towards our heroes. Like, so if it isn't just the car show, we have Open Arms, Operation Open Arms, which last year we served 13 police and fire departments with emergency trauma kits, COVID-19 supply needs, morale and welfare, just feeding the guys and letting them know, hey, we're here for you. 13 police and fire departments to the tune of almost $18,000. In the middle of a pandemic with all of our fundraisers gone. Public supported us. And then there's Operation Safety Net with these heroes fall on the line of duty who get hurt and may not be able to go back to work for a long while. Operation Safety Net's there to try to help them, but we're trying to get funding for it. And we're pridefully one of the most transparent organizations you're going to ever find.
Obviously. I mean, look at you.
Well, I appreciate it. But, ultimately, there's too many organizations out there where they say, hey, we got all these programs, donate to us. And you don't know until at the end of the year where your money's going.
Even as a donor on my end, when I'm donating to something, if someone has a GoFundMe or whatever, any 501 says, hey, we're 501c3, you have to go, okay, let me dig into this a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys are legit. You guys are absolutely legit.
We try to be. And the cool part is with our nonprofit is we're not like any other when it comes to what we do. We have a donation portal where the donor gets to choose where they want the money to go.
Okay.
They can choose to put it in our general ops. They could put it into which the general ops goes into the cost of paying for the event insurance, paying for the event needs, and as well as if there's anything left over, we float it over to the other programs. And then Operation Open Arms, you can choose that, which helps other departments throughout Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky, and then Operation Safety Net, which we're still working on funding. Believe it or not, Koz, we've had quite a few grants get denied on us simply because they want it to go to COVID or some other political group, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big need for COVID, but then our heroes go on the back burner. Last year, I was target of doxing because of our pro-police organization. Somebody doctored a photo and tried to make me look like a racist individual, and I'm not. I had to actually take down all our reviews off our page, and Caela will even tell you we had over a dozen positive reviews from families we've impacted that we had to take down because people are posting fake reviews and hating on our organization because they don't like police.
Which is really awful because being doxxed or whatever that does to you personally, if anybody who has supported you, they get doxxed as well, that it's just, it upsets that the fabric of your support.
It can. I will tell you that those who've been very loyal to us have been loyal no matter what. And I've got probably about a pool of about 50 or 100 people that donate and come to our events everywhere. We have cruise-ins at Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse partners with us over here in our area, and they
you have a lot of partners. I mean, you got. Did I see? I don't want to throw out Walmart. Did I see Walmart?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
They provided us a grant that fed the entire police force of Union Township Police and Fire, as well as the Sharonville Police Department, or Sharonville, what am I saying? Claremont County Sheriff's Office. That's where I got the Sharonville part. But we took care of those three entities, and with that $1,000 grant, and in partnership with Patriot Grill. But I'll tell you, if I may, our car show this year, we've got 3 major sponsors already. We got Humana, who's a lieutenant level sponsor. They're a repeat. We have Beachmont Ford, which is a local Ford dealership. They're a sergeant level sponsor. And then our food vendor from last year that sold out in 3 hours at our last year's car show, he became a sergeant level sponsor.
Really?
And, yeah.
That's great.
We got a lot of partners, and you can see that all on our website, which is currently under revamping. I'm trying to change it along as I go along. But, I'm telling you guys, this organization would not be here if it wasn't for the donors that did support us. And because of Whiskey and Wishes, when they gave us a $10,000 grant last year, we made every penny of that grant go to helping people. And we want to continue to do that. Everything
that you're doing is absolutely beautiful. And it just makes me smile. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you say every penny of that went to that. And I know you've got the documents to prove that.
Without a doubt. I'm the treasurer now. I'm no longer executive director. I stepped back because I've got my own COVID, Carl.
Oh,
his name's Theodore. He was born on Cinco de Mayo, Taco Tuesday.
There you go, May 5th.
Yeah, and may the 5th be with you, right? No, anyway, he is absolutely a joy.
I think I hear him in the background every once in a while.
Yes, you did. It's his bedtime. I think his mama finally took him upstairs, but he's probably the cutest kid. And I'm telling you, outside of our nonprofit, the number one thing you pretty much see on my page is videos on him. I literally have people begging me to do them every day called Daily Dose of Cuteness with Theo. And I do videos with him, and people eat it up. I mean, I think, Caela, you've seen a couple of them.
Oh yes, I have. He is the most adorable baby.
He is super cute. He's smaller than my COVID Carl. My COVID Carl's a fucking pig.
Speaking of the devil with the mom talking in the background, I also wanted to cordially advertise something else.
Go for it.
Mom for WTF Nation Radio is our new marketing director for Back the Heroes Rumble.
She's going to do a fantastic job.
She already has. And, you know, honestly, I would love nothing more than to see if we can get WTF Nation Radio there at our car show and do a special radio session during the event. I think that would be killer. It would be a nice bring around full circle at the end of the fundraising year to do that.
Geographically, we are separated, but we can always come together. Get with Mom, and we can work out some details.
We
Absolutely
will. We're working on it.
Good.
Hopefully.
Now, back to you, Caela. As the recipient of the generosity of Back the Heroes Rumble, is there anything that you would change?
I don't think so, honestly. You know, what meant the most to me was just knowing that there were people who had no idea who I was and they still cared as much as they did. And, you know, Carl was talking about there are some organizations that, you know, only percentage actually goes to what their cause is for. And I can see how, like, they just pour their heart and soul into it.
Yes.
And that really meant a lot. I think about that all the time. You know, there have been a lot of organizations, not a lot, but there have been a handful that will say, you know, hey, these proceeds are going to go to the family. And then I never have heard from them. Joey's mom hasn't heard from them. But Carl and Andrea are definitely the real deal. And all of the proceeds that I did get from that, what I decided to do was divide it into quarters. We have 4 kids combined between us. And I sent Joey's kids, you know, 25% each of it. And then my girls, I have a savings account for them. And every, you know, fundraiser that has been done, they have their own accounts and it goes straight to them. I never wanted to kind of take anything from that, even being the widow. You know, I feel like it's more about carrying on Joey's legacy and then making sure the kids are taken care of.
And that's Blair and Cody and Lena and Aria, right?
Yes.
That makes me happy. That something so tragic and horrible has turned into something just beautiful. I really hope.
It's definitely bittersweet. You know, if I could change it, you know, if I could have Joey with me, I would of course rather do that. I would trade all of everything to have him back. But since losing him, I don't know, this is kind of it doesn't make it worth it, of course, you know, but it just really hits home. You know,
we've got a lot of comments in the chats. It's like, Caela, you have us backing you as the WTF Nation, and you know, anything you need. If you need anything, I mean, reach out to Carl, obviously, but hit us up every once in a while here at WTF Nation Radio. We'll, I mean, we can point you in the right direction or help you out directly. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot.
I also wanted to make sure and this is my chance to basically thank these people. Till Valhalla Project, some of you may already know this, but they do this memorial plaque that they give to families of fallen heroes that reach out to them and apply for a plaque, and they'll make one and they'll deliver it to them and ask them to send a picture of receiving it so they can, you know, show people that, hey, it's being given to them, and they donate those things.
Tell me about the Valhalla Project.
Till Valhalla Project is a T-shirt organization that does a lot of branding stuff, but they're very pro-military, police, fire, and they partner with us by providing us the plaques for the fallen heroes' families. And we were so happy to be able to provide a plaque for Caela and her family.
Oh, wow.
As well as memorial bracelets in Joey's honor. And that's something else we do as well. We try to make sure that they do not forget that event is for them, not for us. And I think I sent Mom a picture of last year's honorees trophy pick where we have the likeness of the hero. We weren't able to do this with Kayla's show, but we decided to start doing it after that. We honored a fallen firefighter last year, and the
Just a
trophy
good idea,
is
Caela.
linked us to show. We just basically want people to know that we even go all out with the trophies because, again, we're not like any other car show.
So are you where are your car shows located? Are they in the Ohio area or somewhere else?
So
Okay.
very close
Dayton?
in proximity to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
We're listed at Batavia Township Park, and it's 1535 Clough Pike in Batavia, Ohio. And we always do it on the first Saturday of August. We had to